Thank you, Carla, for chairing and doing an awesome job. Thank you to all the speakers that came before me. Even though police brutality has existed before the pandemic, it has now taken a different character. Abusive pandemic policing has been wrapped in a farce messaging of public health for our quote-unquote wellness. Multiple videos and news accounts emerge daily of the NYPD brutalizing and abusing New Yorkers under the continued disguise of social distancing enforcement. Like the case of a 9-year-old boy that was savagely beaten and arrested for selling candy on a train with his mother. Unsurprisingly, the limited data released have revealed that vast majority of enforcement-related summons and arrests are disproportionately Black and brown people. And while we know the truth of who is being affected by social distancing enforcement, New York City Mayor de Blasio continues to lie, saying that the numbers and summons are extraordinarily low, that there's a huge amount of restraint by the NYPD. CBS Local News reported, in fact, that the NYPD had 1 million contacts between March 16th to May 5th, just a few days ago. That led to 374 summonses, 120 arrests. Breaking down arrests by race, 68% are Black, 24% have been brown Latino folks, and nearly 7% were white. Of summonses, 193 were Black, 111 were brown, 51 were white, and 14 were Asian. Overall, 93% of arrests, or 116 out of 125 people, were people of color. In Brooklyn alone, 7 out of 8 people arrested were Black, while Black Brooklynites only make up 34% of Brooklyn. De Blasio was the one that gave the NYPD carte blanche to aggressively enforce social distancing in the first place. Yet he says that he can fix the problem. An article written by Elisa Velasco explained that in the meantime, the pandemic mistreatment, there has been at least over 100 NYPD officers who tested positive for COVID-19. Out of the 98 cases were positive, 70% of them were, sorry, comrades. I hate being on camera. Okay. 70% of them were among uniformed officers, while 28 are citizen members of the department. Many officers are not wearing any PPE, while they violently round up Black and brown community members. There is a clear class disposability to the NYPD pandemic of violence as well. For the first time in the history of New York City subway stations and system, the entire train system has been shut down. And this happened on May 6th from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. Clearing and disinfecting the train system is critical. However, there was a forced homelessness of people outside in the middle of the night while the city refuses to offer meaningful, safe ways to house homeless people in New York City. During the pandemic, poor working class people have experienced devastating cuts to public health, social services, safety net, education, jobs via job freezes, and SYEP, which is youth summer programs. However, the NYPD $6 billion budget was not impacted in the same way at all. Many agencies have been put on hiring freezes while the NYPD has not. In fact, the NYPD budget has allowed enough room to hire 1,000 more police officers during this pandemic to further terrorize our communities. The $6 billion NYPD budget allows the expansion of violence police presence in social services like homeless outreach, mental health response, youth initiative, and social distancing, all of which the NYPD has showed that they have failed at, even before the pandemic. So what can be done? The $6 billion NYPD budget should be reallocated to the continued need of poor working class people, period. End the policing that allows the NYPD to terrorize our communities, halt the enforcement of low-level offenses during the pandemic. New York City cannot police its way out of the COVID-19 pandemic. It just can't happen. Creative solutions, not budget cuts, are what's needed. For example, public health professionals and community organizations should be tasked to respectively educate New Yorkers about the importance of social distancing and help create new forms and new norms that will protect everyone while mass testing is implemented. We know our neighborhoods, how to interact with our communities. It is clear that even in times of crisis, the NYPD is not the answer. They don't serve our interests. They only serve the interests of the ruling class. And because we serve our interests, we are at task to do this work. Thank you, comrades.